What is up, everyone? I am not alone in the building. I have a very special guest. I'm going to start the show off hot. He's ready. He's in the back end. You guys came to see him, not me. So I'm just going to bring him to the show right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Abraham Rodriguez. Abraham, what's good, bro?
Hello,
How
hello
are you?
again. Hi, everyone.
Let's give
So
him a
happy to be back.
big round of applause, man. I'm so happy to have you on today. Actually,
Thank you so
we
much.
spoke before. I had you on the RSP Lounge back in 2021. I missed last year's because I missed my flights, and then they canceled all of them after that. So
Oh no.
it was that, yeah, man. So I'm super excited to have you here on today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little bit of a background here on Abraham. If you guys don't already know, he's an actor and a poet, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Right? Better known for his roles in popular television series such as Power Rangers Beast Morphers and the Save by the Bell reboot, which I loved you in, bro. He has captivated a lot of his audiences with his dynamic performances, his poetry, and his ability to bring depth and authenticity to characters he portrays. You have become a face for a lot of people with who you are and the way you are naturally just charismatic, you know.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people love that about you. And I have a couple questions. I want to get right into it. I don't want to waste too much of your time. Um, First and foremost, how did you get into acting and what led you towards this career?
Yeah, so I actually started acting in church plays when I was about 6 years old. That's when I first got to experience acting, and I have this memory of, I think it was one of my first plays that I did, and I showed up to the rehearsal and I didn't have my script, and the drama teacher was a little bit like bothered, or just kind of like, oh, like, where's your script, like, where's. And I was like, oh, I'm memorized. And she was like, huh, like, you're memorized? And I'm like, yeah, like, I just thought that that's what you were supposed to do. And that was even before I knew how to read. And my church was also a Spanish speaking church, so all of this was in Spanish. And I remember my mom would help me practice my lines and memorize them, and she would read them, and I would just repeat after her, and that's how I got to memorize. But yeah, that was my introduction, and I did that for several years. And then when I was 15, I started working locally in Las Vegas, which is my hometown, and in local film and television projects, a lot of indie projects, a lot of local commercials. I started taking acting classes in Vegas when I was 15 for film and television. And then I got my first agent in LA when I was 17. I was going back and forth from Vegas to LA for every audition. And then a month after turning 18, I moved to LA and I started auditioning for Power Rangers about 2 to 3 months into living in LA. And I booked it that same year and went to New Zealand, shot the show, and the rest is history. Here I
Wait,
am.
you're you said you're 18. You got your line right. Like we got to sign a waiver for you. Like, I got to send a waiver to your parents because you sure as hell don't look over 18, man.
Well,
God
I'm
bless.
23 now, but when I did the show Power Rangers, I was
Right,
18. Yeah.
of course. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you haven't aged since then.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
right.
know, it's crazy to think that was 5 years ago now. It's so surreal.
And you have a whole. You look a little bit like Bad Bunny right now. Look at you. Like, you
What a
said you're
compliment.
no, for sure. You definitely look like him. You said you're of the Spanish descent, Latino.
Yeah, I'm Mexican American. I'm first generation. My parents are both from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
That's amazing. Are you
Yeah.
did you keep up with the Spanish language at home or no?
I did. Spanish was actually my first language.
Awesome.
Only speak Spanish to my parents even today, and whenever we're at home with my family, it's all Spanish. I learned English from Dora, funny enough, because I already knew Spanish since it was my first language, and I got to practice that with my brothers even before I got to go to school. So I grew up in a very bilingual household.
That's so awesome. Qué bueno. Así que me gusta escucharlo. La gente
Gracias.
hispana, and as being a Latino, the representation is so hard in Hollywood sometimes
Yeah.
to have. So just to have your name associated with Hollywood and whatnot. And John Leguizamo speaks about it too a lot about having Latin representation in roles and whatnot. So you've already touched two of my favorite franchises as a Latino. Gracias por eso. So I'm really happy for that. You talked a little bit about Power Rangers, Beast Morphers, and getting into it. You played Nate. Can you tell us a little bit about that process of becoming a Ranger? Did you have a fandom before getting into the Power Rangers or no?
I have done a few smaller acting roles before Power Rangers. Nothing that got me the fan base, I would say, that Power Rangers did. So Power Rangers was definitely my introduction to just like what I get to experience now with having a fan base, and it was my first series regular role. Um, and it was very challenging. I didn't have a lot of martial arts experience, and I was actually originally auditioning for one of the comedic roles for Ben, and I went to producers for Ben, and it wasn't until in my producer session that the executive producer, Chip Lynn, asked me to read for one of the Ranger roles. And that was, completely unexpected. And I was excited for the challenge, and they gave me the two scenes for that role, and they let me step out for like 5 minutes to read it for the first time and come back in and perform those scenes. And they, responded to it. They liked it. They liked me, and they put me in a martial arts class with Mike Chat, one of the past Power Rangers. The very next morning at 6 a.m., I was in his class practicing martial arts and trying to put together my 30-second martial arts routine. Um, and I had about a month to train, which I was a little bit later into the game. A lot of people that were auditioning for a Ranger had already been in this martial arts training for several months. So it was definitely intimidating, and being in those classes every week, I got to see everyone that was also auditioning for this same role. We were all in the same class together, and everyone, all the other guys were older, they were taller, they were more muscular, they were more athletic than I was at that time. So there were a lot of different things that made me very easily intimidated, but within all of that, I kept reminding myself that, you know what, we're all in the same place here. We're all auditioning. We all have an equal chance and opportunity to book this. And I know I made it this far in the casting process for a reason. And there's something that I have that nobody else has. And that's all that I can, lean on and go with. So I tried to not let it discourage me, and I gave it my all, did my thing, and I booked the role, and it's really, really special because that proved to me, and I hope it proves to a lot of people that watch the show, to not underestimate yourself and to not compare yourself to anyone, especially within acting in the entertainment industry. I think it's very easy to compare yourself to other people, but it's important to remember that every role that you book is meant for you and only you, and nobody else can take that away. So I think leading with that just makes this whole process of auditioning a lot more fun and a lot more peaceful. It's very easy to be discouraged in this industry, and it's very easy to quit. So getting to find, those things that keep you going and are just really important. So
For
yeah.
sure. And I've said this to you when we last spoke. You are now part of history. You're part of Power Ranger lore. I mean, they just celebrated their 30-year anniversary. Like, did you get the chance to
Yeah.
watch that episode on Netflix yet, or no?
Yeah, I actually got to attend Walter's like
Oh, nice.
private
Yeah.
screening for it
Yeah.
here in Los Angeles. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time getting to see a lot of my Ranger family, and I got to watch it there for the first time. I sat next to Roger Velasco, who was
He's
the
amazing.
Black Ranger, and honestly, sorry, Roger, I forgot what season.
In
But
space.
oh, okay, yeah, in space, perfect. He's a great friend of mine, so getting to sit with him and watch it was a super special moment we got to share. And yeah, I think they did a phenomenal job. It was super entertaining and it looked great. And I'm also extremely proud of. I'm blanking. I forgot her name, but the actress who plays the new Yellow Ranger, Trini's
Yes,
daughter.
yes, 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 yes.
I got to see her there. I met her once before at Rangerstop last year, and getting to reconnect with her and watch her performance and just communicate how much of a just amazing job she did was a really special moment that we got to share. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to watch it, and obviously surrounded by other peers from prior seasons and whatnot. I think it's pretty special. I've been watching it since I was a kid, and it was definitely touching to see. I think they hit the nail on the head with what they were trying to portray on television.
Yeah.
So for me, it was everything. I thought, and someone like you, are you open to taking an opportunity in future years to bring you back on the show? Would you be willing to do that?
I always say any opportunity to go back to New Zealand, I
Ah,
1000% will take. So if yeah, I would love to spend any more time that I can in New Zealand. Obviously, getting to do this job would be insane just to be back on that set and work with the crew again. Um, I will say I'm very happy and grateful for the time that I had on the show.
mhm.
But if they did decide to bring me back, I would definitely jump on that opportunity.
Well, I for one would love to see you back. Well, not what is it called? Not spandex or anything, because you guys wore like suits, so it'd be
Yeah,
it'd
we
be
had
different for
sweater
you. Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. It's a totally different view of things. Now, you're also known for your role in Saved by the Bell, the reboot.
Yes.
What was it like joining such a beloved franchise, and how did you approach bringing like your fresh perspective into the role?
Yeah, I mean, first to be a part of another iconic show like Saved by the Bell, especially right after coming off of Power Rangers, is just so insane to me. A lot of Power Ranger fans are also Saved by the Bell fans. So getting to be a part of two huge worldwide recognizable franchises is just like being on one alone is so crazy, but now getting to be on two is even crazier. Um, so yeah, it's super super cool. I didn't watch the original growing up just because it wasn't my generation. But when I did get the role on Saved by the Bell, I went back and watched the first season and the last season of the original to get a sense of the style and the acting and just make sure I do my homework.
For sure, yeah.
Um, and yeah, auditioning for that was also super crazy for me. It was a role that at that point in my life I wasn't 1000% comfortable playing, and it was definitely a huge step outside of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
So I remember going into it and just being like, you know what, let's just have fun. I'm going to give it my all. Um, and let's just see what happens. Let's just have fun. And that's exactly what I did. And I ended up getting the job. And it ended up being one of the biggest blessings in my personal life, but also career, and just getting to explore that type of character was challenging, but also necessary and a huge blessing. So yeah, I think a lot of times with acting and the roles that you end up playing as an actor, um, they serve you in such a like personal way, and that's why um, I think that's why you end up booking the roles that you do, to gain the experiences through those roles that you do that will eventually help you as a person. and not only that, but it also helps, you know, the audience, and
Sure.
hopefully inspires, you know, someone that watches it. And at the end of the day, that's why I do what I do as an artist, is to hopefully inspire someone and bring a smile to their face. And yeah, it's awesome. It's really a huge blessing. And a lot of my castmates on that show are still great friends of mine today, who I see on a very regular weekly basis.
That's
So
so cool.
there's a lot that I gained from that show for sure.
Now you did mention, I wanted to touch a little bit on this. You mentioned that it was challenging for you. Would you be able to, share a little bit of those challenging things that went into this character by Saved by the Bell, or on Saved by the Bell, I should say?
Yeah, for sure. I at that point in my life was still figuring out my sexuality.
Hmm.
And so then playing a role that was so big and flamboyant
Hmm.
as Spencer was very scary for me. Um, and I am very grateful for that role, because it allowed me to explore the flamboyant, more feminine side of myself that I, without that experience, wouldn't have been comfortable to do. And who knows how long it would have taken me to explore that side of myself. So this role really came at the perfect time when I was going through the journey of figuring out my sexuality. And yeah, it just gave
You
me
killed
a
it,
lot of
bro.
experience. Thank you.
I
Thank
mean,
you. And
so
that was the other big challenge with it, was that I wanted to make sure that I was authentically representing my community and Spencer's community. And like I said, I was never flamboyant like that in my real life, so it was a challenge, and I wanted to make sure that I, you know, just showed it right. And I knew there would be a lot of people that would connect to it, and that was my biggest fear. So to hear that I did a good job means everything, and that's all that I could have hoped for.
so when I first realized, I wasn't paying much attention because I was all over the place, but when I realized it was you, I was like, wait a second, let me sit down here and watch this. Hold on. And from day one, you were just, you killed it. You took the role, you made it yours,
Thank you.
and I felt so connected with the way that you brought the comedy and everything else that brought the character to life. I was like, man, this dude gets it. Like, I was like, I hope that, he understands that this 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 is big for people. Listen, I'm 40 years old, bro. Like, I saw the original, saw them go to college, saw them get married in Hawaii. So to have that back, how was it for you with Mario Lopez and Mark and all them? How was that connection? Were you guys able to get a lot of one-on-one with the original cast members?
Yes, I mainly got one-on-one time with Elizabeth Berkley, who played Jessie. I had a
Hmm.
lot of scenes with her, and we shared a lot of time on set together. And funny enough, she has a son who is, I mean, at that time that we were shooting the show, I think he was around 6 years old, and he was actually a fan of Power Rangers and watched my season, which was so crazy. So we bonded over that a lot. Um, and yeah, she's a beautiful person. She always went out of her way to just like talk to me and make me feel, you know, a part of the family and stuff. So yeah, I'm really appreciative to her. I worked with Mario a couple times, and Mark Paul actually directed one of my episodes. So I didn't necessarily get to act with him a ton, but getting to bond with him through him directing me was a really unique experience that I'm very grateful for. But yeah, overall, all of the original cast was just awesome to work with. Especially,
Man,
you know, getting to meet Mario and getting to be on a show with him was super surreal to me growing up. He's someone that I saw on TV all the time that, you know, looked like me and made me feel like I could also do that. And to share a screen with him is a huge moment for me in my life and career.
sure. And I felt honestly that you and Josie, was that
Yes.
yes, Josie killed it as well. I think you guys
Yeah,
just, man, every time you both were on screen, I don't know what it was. I was just like, I really enjoyed it so much. I really wished that it went further than what, 2 seasons? Um,
yeah,
it's just, I
me too.
understand corporations and what they do in the back end, but I really
Yeah,
felt like they missed the boat on
yeah,
continuing. I don't know what they were seeing. It's just it's the type of show that I feel anyone could put on at any time, whether you're having a bad day or good day, or if you just want it on in the background while you work or do something that you can really like
right.
just turn around and laugh because something funny happened on screen.
Yeah,
So they really missed the boat on that. Before we get to the end here, and I ask some questions, some rapid fire questions for you, can you
yeah.
let us know here collectively? Are you working on anything new? Any new poetry sessions? Anything that's going on in the world of Abraham?
Yeah, I actually did a thriller movie last year called Exposure, which is due to come out sometime later this year. Super, super excited for that. I worked on the Netflix show Free Ridge, which is an On My Block spinoff that released in February. So that's on Netflix right now. And I'm currently working on my second poetry book.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I just started the publishing process for that, and that will come out summer of next year. So yeah, I got a few things on my plate that I'm super excited about.
He's
So
hiding it, everyone. He doesn't want to tell us. That's fine. I'll get it out of you at
that's
Ranger
all I
Stop.
can say for now.
You're going to be at Ranger Stop, and I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah,
For anyone watching this later on or listening, Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta this June 16th. I can't wait to see everyone there. We're going to have such a great time. I'm hoping that I'm able to get you back on my stage there
yeah.
and going live and sharing more stories with you at the con. I mean,
I'll
that's
also be hosting the lip sync battle this year at
yes,
Ranger.
yes,
So I'm
you
super
are.
excited for that. Yes.
I'm gonna have to maybe join. I don't know if Nakia is gonna let me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Let's have
so
some
here we
fun.
go. I got five quick questions that I just want to throw your way. It's a fun little way to end the show here. If you
Cool.
could be any Power Ranger from any season, who would you choose?
Hmm. Maybe I would say Davi Santos character, the Gold Ranger in Dino Charge, just because I mean, also Gold. Also, I think he had such a fun role with it being so like I don't know, it's just like an older like what would you say like medieval knight type of character that I think would be super fun to play.
Yeah, that's you know what? No one's ever said that. Like that's really cool
There you
because
go.
everyone always goes, "Oh, I want to be the Green Ranger or White Ranger from the
Yeah,
past,"
I love
But
gold. So any other gold,
so
I'll
are
choose.
you know what? That's funny because Dawn, who's in the chat right now, she's my partner in crime with the
Mm,
RSP Lounge and Into the Morphing Grid. She got me and sent it to me an autograph Lightning Collection figure from you. So like she went and
oh
got it for me at
really?
Ranger Stock because I missed it. Yeah, so I had
Oh,
two. I had two of them. I had one obviously that I had bought just to support because I love who you are.
thank
And then she
you.
got me that one. That one is still sealed up. I'm not gonna touch that. I don't want the ink or nothing to
Nice.
get messed up. But
Yeah.
I do have you right over here, which is pretty funny, right on
Oh
my
my gosh,
shelf.
that's so
So
cool.
I was like, wait a second, I have him standing right there next to me.
Oh, I
So yeah,
love
that was really
that.
cool. Yeah. Anything that, obviously to support you guys who are amazing actors and great people
Thank you.
overall. My second question, what was maybe one of the funniest or most memorable moments for you on set for Power Rangers?
Most memorable, I would definitely say the musical episode. That was a lot of
Wow,
fun, and
yes.
I got to switch bodies with Steel and play a robot and be just like super animated. It was the most challenging episode I had. I also am not a trained dancer, so that was another
Wait a
challenge.
second, Latino? ¿Y no bailas? Oh
I
my
can, I mean,
God.
I'll say I can dance, but I'm not professionally
Can you do
trained.
some merengue, anything? Bachata? No?
Um, I mean, I'm pretty good at twerking, I'll say.
Listen, oh, twerking. Okay, cool. So listen, when we're at Rangerstop and Pop, when on the party on the dance floor, I'm just gonna take you out on the dance floor and see if our DJ would throw some
Oh yeah,
Latin music
I'll,
on there.
I'll
Nothing better
definitely
than
be
having
performing a
a yes, nothing better than having someone that looks like Bad Bunny at Rangerstop dancing to some Latino music
That's
and
great.
shaking it on the dance floor. Which villain from Power Rangers from your series do you think was the most menacing?
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I would say probably Scrozzle. I know Evox is like our main villain, but I think there was only so much Evox could do as this like spirit type of villain.
Hmm.
Um, I would say Scrozzle because he was, there physically and kind of orchestrated everything. So yeah, Scrozzle.
Nice. Wrapping up here, almost two more questions. If you had to create your own Ranger team with five characters from any of the series that have been out, which Rangers would you choose colors wise? All gold? That'd be cool, by the way.
I honestly, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I would just pick five Gold Rangers. I'd probably do like Davi. I would do Levi from Ninja Steel because
Yes,
he's the season before. I would say Jordan because he's a season after, and my fellow Gold who I passed the
I would
reign
love that.
along
Yes.
to. What is that?
Three.
Jordan, Davi, Levi.
You,
I
that's
would have
four.
to say Austin St. John for sure when he was gold and white, right?
Yes. Yeah, Austin St. John
Um,
was a gold and black, but it still counts
oh,
because
yeah.
he was known as the Gold Zeo Ranger. So 100%. By the way, you guys had him on your season. That
Yeah,
was
we
pretty
did.
cool to have that little
Yeah.
throwback. You guys did some really cool stuff in Beast Morphers, and I do want to say this: I was kind of disconnected from the franchise for a while. I didn't know what the heck they were doing there for a minute after
Mhm,
Ninja Steel. So watching Beast Morphers through the pandemic
mhm.
completely brought me back, like
Wow,
so that was really cool to kind of just, your season was the one thing that gravitated me back into the fold of things. So again, another thing to thank you
that's
for.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Um if you could have, this is a simple one. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The first thing I can think of is probably being invisible, just so I can like see some stuff secretly.
Be a fly on
Um,
the wall.
yeah, yeah, I'll probably be invisible.
That's awesome, man. I am so happy that you took the time out of your day. I know you're very busy. You're out in the West Coast doing your thing. Thank you so much for being here with us, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alexis Cardoza, here at the RSP Lounge. Don't forget to get your tickets at rangerstopatlanta.com. Go there, go get your tickets. Hopefully, I'll be doing some giveaways here as well to give away some tickets. The main man here with me, Abraham Rodriguez, will be at the con. He
That's
will
right.
also be judging the lip sync battle, and I will be taking him out to the dance floor to shake it up. You know what I'm saying? Just see what
Easy.
he'll probably beat me. By the way, when we took our picture, I'm 6'5", so he could probably really destroy me on the dance floor with his moves because he's smaller than me and he can probably do a lot more. I'll be on the floor crippled.
We'll
Abraham, if
have
you
to
don't
wait
mind,
and
just
see.
yeah, for sure. Abraham, if you don't mind just sticking around here, after the we're gonna play the end credits here, and then just so we can just wrap it up on the back end. You and I. For everyone else, I will see you next week. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Alexis Cardoza, because I'm gonna be dropping our next guest, on Instagram and on the Rangerstop and Pop Instagram account. Abraham, before I get out of here, where can they follow you?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for such an amazing interview. Always great time with you.
Thank you.
And you can follow me on Instagram at abraham.rod. And you can follow my poetry account on Instagram at Abraham Rod Poetry. And my first poetry book, Mixed Feelings, is out and available online everywhere books are sold. Amazon is probably the easiest. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys at Rangerstop.
Thank you guys. We'll see you again next week. Later.